Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Velocity Sellers Podcast. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and today I am joined by Peter Paul Maan. He is a consumer behavior specialist at IntelliV. Peter Paul, thank you so much for joining us today to talk a little bit more about the world of better market research, I'll call it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also glad to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to give you a chance to tell us a little. I want to learn a little bit more about you and kind of how you got into this space. So I'm curious how you started out in the industry and where you kind of got your beginnings.
Oh, to be honest, it goes quite far back. When I was 18, I'm just going to tell a little bit of story about me. So when I was 18, I drove a taxi. And in that taxi, I drove a customer. So he was requesting me all the time. I drove him, by the way, from his wife to his girlfriend. So that was kind of like, ooh. But it also highlights the trust relation we built. So because I built a trusted relationship with that guy. And at a certain moment, he asked me like, "Hey, why are you driving this taxi? What are you doing? You're a smart guy. What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I just like to drive nice cars." And I was driving a Mercedes. That's kind of common in Europe to drive a Mercedes as a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
So and he said, "So but you're like conversational. You're really good in connecting people. So if you're really looking for a car, why not come to my office on Monday morning? There will be a car in front of the building, and I'm going to explain what you have to do for that, and you'll get that car." So I did that, and his introduction was like, "So listen, I'm selling this type of product. I'm not gonna make it too detailed now. I'm selling this type of product, and here's some yellow pages, like on his desk, like a pile of yellow pages."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the potential customers are in those yellow pages. And all you have to do is just use that car that's in front of the building, that's yours, drive through the Netherlands, and then go to customers, speak about a product, and sell it. Now, that's how it all started. I was 18, and I'm in sales. What is it, I'm now 52, so that's quite a long time. In 2008, I went into the online space. So I started, first of all, being an entrepreneur. So I liked that I felt like, why not give it a shot and try to do that? But most importantly is it was like, I saw so many companies who kind of do not understand how people buy stuff. It's almost like you might think that it's so easy, but it's not that easy. And I really found that it's valuable, and there's market for it to advise and recommend other companies how to improve sales. And I'm still doing that each day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great intro. Great intro. I'm curious to learn more about that myself. I'm curious to learn more about the process of how people buy things and that product channel, product funnel that you describe about. So I'm curious to get into that and understand more about how IntelliV uses that to attract business and help brands sell more. So
Yeah, so you're using funnels. So there you go. Like funnels, that's a technical term. It's part of marketing and everybody knows it. But funnel is the technical side of it. The whole point is that you have to step in the shoe of the consumer. And at the end of the day, we are all consumers. So I buy stuff, you buy stuff. So and if you think about how you do it and what's important to you, and when you say yes or when you say no, and what all comes into play when you make the decision, that's the whole point. So I don't know, it's just like people buy from people. It's a moment of connection. I already said from the taxi driving moment that I was building trust. I'm pointing that out. I did that on purpose a bit because, it's all about trust. And although you're in the online space, you have to build trust. So now there comes the magic. How do you do that?
right. Right. Well, I'm curious to learn again the more about not only your origins but also the origins of IntelliV and more about how it got started and really what the where the idea came from and how it was founded and created and what purpose it sort of serves to beat out some of the other competitors. So what's the story of the company? How did you guys start this business?
Yeah, so the owner, Mel Stelau, I know him very well, and we were both in the marketing space. So I was in my own marketing agency, serving customers, doing Shopify and stuff. Um, and then he one day just said like, "This is amazing. I found an article that it's possible to do sales on Amazon. That's crazy. If it's really true, then we can make money there." So we just gave it a shot. Like, let's do it. And that was in 2016. So we started, and he had kind of the idea like if we can make 10K in I think it was in half a year, something like that. I don't really remember, so don't pinpoint me on the exact numbers. But it 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 was much more, and it went on and on and on. It was not just mountaintops. We also had some valley moments. But we did it. So and we started, and we kind of at first it was quite easy. So it was kind of like the copycat scene, just looking at other products and then just figure out how to do it better, and then be very strong in the launch. The deeper your pockets are, the more money you can invest, the better chances you get a bestseller badge. That's not anymore. So right, and we knew that. So we already knew that somehow, like there will be a moment, there will be a tipping point that the let's say the idea of people buy from people, that you are dealing with actual consumers, there will be one day that you have to focus on that. So we had a vision, and now we are doing it. So yeah, we started in, what is it, in 2020 we launched the platform IntelliV. It was not just such like wake up in the morning and there it was. Not at all, in fact. The route before that, or the journey before that, started with a mastermind. So with a mastermind, we joined a mastermind, and Mel, so our CEO, is founder of that mastermind. And in that group, they were just developing and sharing ideas like how to optimize listings. And then consumer insights came into play. So we started developing the tool around that mastermind. And we kept it close to our chest until 2020. Then we went to the public.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, and I'm curious to learn again just more about sort of the process that you can share with us. I don't want to give away any trade secrets, but you mentioned just earlier here. You said that the marketing funnel. I learned that in marketing school. That's kind of again. I'm not too far removed from college, so I remember my marketing classes, and they told us a lot about the marketing funnel and how you bring in customers and how you eventually get them to um, complete a purchase based on a number of factors. So you're saying that you take a different approach at IntelliV. You're saying that's too fundamental, and you guys are more along the lines um, of like a more personal approach. So can you talk more about that approach and kind of again what sets you apart from some of these other maybe market research companies that are doing something similar or a little something more technical?
It's not just compared to other marketing companies. It's more what you see in the industry of Amazon sales. So, let me just start, because I also want to grab the attention of everybody who is listening. We simulate. So we simulate the customer journey. That's what we do. And the way we do that, it's nothing more than what I just said before. We are all consumers. So how does it start? If I'm going to buy a product, it might be that I have a problem and I'm looking for a solution. It might be that I have a product, but it's broken, so I want to replace it. It might be that I have a friend and he has his birthday coming up, so I need to buy a gift. Now, whatever it is, it starts with an awareness stage. So it's a stage of awareness. It's something that I do know about the product, whatever happened. So it might be that I've seen some advertisements. It might be that I already are trained on the product, that I know more. Nevertheless, once someone's entering the marketplace, there will start the decision process. So the process of looking at options. And that starts, of course, by typing in a search term. Yes, it does. But if you simulate that journey and you figure out that you have a consumer that is replacing a product, or you figure out that someone is having a problem and looking for a solution, then the start is already different. Now, if I ask in that moment, what would be important to you? and you grab insights. You're getting insights of actual consumers are saying like, well, if I'm in that type of situation, this is my shopping scenario, this is my stage of awareness, I'm looking for this type of product, then this will be important to me. You're getting insights that are, we call that pre-sale insights. It's pre-sale. And everybody in the industry, most of them are looking at post-sale. It's all like scraping reviews, looking at products on the
Reviews, yes.
marketplace, and all they think about is search, find, buy. So then you have just like the dump file of all the search terms, and just like figuring out by investing money in PPC how to get the most impressions, how to get the most clicks, how to get the best conversion. I get that, but by tapping into the consumer and understand each individual journey, you can really build your product around the consumer. And if you go back in the days that I was driving around in my car that I got from the employer, my first employer,
Hmm.
I did the same thing. I had a bag full of stuff, so really a bag with products. Is it useful to present everything in a moment when I'm sitting down with a customer? So let's say you're my customer right now, Pete, and I'm just throwing it all over you. Like, here, this, I have this, I have that, I have that, I have that. I'm just boring you. But if I simply ask you like, okay, hey, listen, Pete, imagine you are looking for a stainless water bottle. Now, what will be important to you?
I want it to be big enough to where I don't have to refill it all the time. I'm trying to think about the water bottle that I have right now. I want a different. I want options for the top. So I don't want it to just be. Maybe I have interchangeable tops. Like one's a straw, or one is just a. I just take it off and sip it. I mean, I would maybe want it to be easy, easy to be washed, easy to be cleaned, because I know that's a big thing that not a lot of people know about. Is that these water bottles need to be cleaned. So I would say those are probably my
Now,
top three important things.
now, great. So now let's imagine that now you're scrolling over the Amazon page and you typed in stainless steel water bottle, maybe with a straw. So you even made it a little bit long term because you want to have a straw. Then, by the way, there are already a bunch of idiots who are showing PPC products without a straw. Like,
Right.
serious. Try to pay attention to the details, but nevertheless. Now you're seeing all of a sudden while you're scrolling down, and by scrolling, by the way, we have to think about this, that the attention span of the average consumer is about 8 seconds. So it's so,
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
grasping the attention. So I'm scrolling over the page, and all of a sudden you see there a badge, dishwasher safe. And you see next to the bottle that there are two features. That you have a top with a straw, and there's also another one. Boom. It got your attention. Now
I'm
you go.
in. Yeah.
Now you, yeah, you're in. You're in. But now you're in. But when you're in, there might be more. I'm almost 100% sure there might be more. When you're checking the second image, you're looking for something that's important to you. Now, what is that? What more will be important to you? To say like,
I
yeah,
would
this is it.
I would maybe wanna see if there's different colors of it. I don't want, any super bright color. I would want something very neutral.
Yeah,
Um,
so I'm going to interrupt. So if it's about color, so
yeah.
indeed we get those insights, and
Right.
everybody who's listening and know Amazon. So if you're doing sponsored ads, there are no color options. So then it's
Right.
not visible. But if you are organic in your organic search, you can highlight the color options beneath your hero image. So then I already got you, Pete. I have
Yeah.
colors, so that's great. So you're in.
Okay.
You're in. Colors is in there.
Then at that point, I guess price point, I would wanna see it depends on the price, obviously, of course, too. That seems like a basic one as well.
That's
I
again,
guess I don't really.
that's the first step because you saw that
Yeah, you see
price
that on
already
the.
when you were scrolling.
Yeah.
So, but this
I
is,
feel like I'm
but
failing this test here,
no,
Peter
you're
Paul. I feel
not
like I'm
failing.
failing the
You're not
test.
failing. No, but you're not failing. You're not failing. But what is interesting is that thinking about these steps, we are doing it right now, and we
Right.
didn't prepare this, but this is exactly the
Yeah.
point. It is like thinking about what is happening in each step of the consumer's mind. So when now we have the scroll moment. I got your attention. Dishwasher
Right.
safe. There are some features. The prices in there. I have the color options. Are you
Mhm.
already sold? No, of course not. There might be more that's important to you. It
Right.
might be. You might say,
Mhm.
for instance, like, I have to go to check the reviews. I get that, but they're already in there. Again, hero
Yeah.
image, and then the amount of reviews, and the 4.7 stars. So that's already convincing. And at a certain point, you might go down to really check if it's true what people are saying. So if the seller is saying like it does this or it has that, quality statements, whatever, you're going to check that in the reviews. It might. But the whole point is that the listing had to take you by the hand. You need to understand the wants, needs, and desires that are important to the potential buyer in the specific situation, the shopping scenario that's relevant for your product, and then guide them by the hand and really each image, each moment where you're taking the attention, that you're showing that and you're telling that. It's a sales story. So when I go back to the
Right.
bag where I started with, I have my bag with me. I'm not going to present everything I have. I will never do
Right.
that. I try to do like, how do you say that? Step by step,
Tailored.
tailored. Yeah,
Yeah.
step by
Yeah.
step. Exactly.
Huh.
Exactly.
And then, okay, so now you have this information about, or you have some. I'm guessing this is a wide pool. You're not just picking a few people here. You're getting a lot of information from a lot of different customers. How do you help the brands that you work with? How do you help them? Aside from the obvious of saying, okay, we found that a lot of people looking for a water bottle, they care about having a straw. So you can tell them, hey, make sure you include a straw in if you have a straw top, make sure you include that in your images. What other steps can you take to help them improve conversions and improve sales with that data that you gathered?
One of the things that are quite unique in the IntelliV platform is that we have a purchase barrier poll. It's quite a
Okay.
It's not a term that you hear quite often. I also
No.
hear it from you, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So let's
Curious to
repeat
learn
it. Let's
more.
repeat it for this moment. It's a purchase
Yes.
barrier poll. We call it
Okay.
like that. And we are Dutch, so maybe we figured out something that is quite weird for the industry. But let me explain. It is around the dominant reasons that avoid buying. So the dominant reasons that avoid buying. Trap. What it does, it shows a hero image and the title of a listing, and we're just asking, let's say, a focus group of 150 people. And if you want segmented, so if you want like people who are frequently buying supplements, you can target that. Or if you want to have woman, or you want to have a specific age range, or you want to have families with children, whatever. But we're showing the hero image in the title, and in that poll, we ask what would be a reason not to buy this product. Now, what will happen is you're going to get a list of objections. And you have to think about this. So it's not just related to the hero image in the title. It's not. And let me do a weird comparable, but I just like to do it because otherwise
Yeah.
you need to follow what I'm saying. Let's say I'm showing you a car and I'm going to give the answer immediately. So I'm showing a car and I'm asking what would be a reason not to buy this car? From sight, so what people see, they might say, I don't like the wheels or I don't like the shape. So that's the outside. That's the hero image in the title. That's the parable. That's the comparison that I make right now. But if someone's saying like, well, looking at the car, it's all fine, but I wonder, is it comfortable? Are the seats comfortable? Because if the seats are not comfortable, I'm not going to buy that car. Or if there's not a sporty steering wheel in the car, I'm not going to buy that car. Now, this is the inside of the car. So that's the listing information. They do not see that in the poll. They only see the hero image in the title. But when I show, let's go back to the stainless water bottle. And by the way, I'm not going to show any screens right now, but I'm looking at a poll right now that I have here. Let's see. So that's the purchase barrier poll for a stainless steel water bottle. And the top 10 buying objections are ease of cleaning. Ha, there you have it, Pete. You already mentioned
I
that.
said that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was on
so
top of
there
it.
are concerns about whether the bottle is dishwasher safe and easy to clean. Now, the thing is, of course, in the main image, so in the hero image, you can address dishwasher safe. You can even place it in the
Right.
title as a benefit. But maybe, if you go to the listing, so that's the inside, that's why I use that parable of the car. What you see is the outside, the wheels, the shape, etc. But the
Right.
inside is when you go into the listing, what are you doing about ease of cleaning. How are you explaining that to the buyers to really convince them that's dishwasher safe? Just saying might not be enough. I see, for instance, also size and capacity. So there are several people who are concerned about the water bottle size, either finding it too big or too small for their needs. Okay, so you need to do something with size. Can you do that in the hero image? It might, but you could definitely do it in the listing. Now, this is the purchase barrier poll, so this is all around objections. From that
Right.
step, we advise you, so we recommend you to do an image tag poll. Now, what's going to happen now is that you're going to test your image tag, so your 7 images of your listing, up against 2 competitors that are relevant, also 7 images. We ask a group of respondents, again if you want segmented, hey, looking at these 3 stacks, what stack do you prefer? Again, from the shopping scenario, because we start from that point, I already mentioned that there's a lot to say, but I'm sorry. But we start from the shopping scenario. So they are in the buying mode, like the situation, the framing. Imagine yourself looking for a stainless water bottle. Now, they see 3 stacks of images. They have to decide which tag they like. And after that, they have to explain what image was decisive for their choice. And we ask from the positive side, but also from the negative. So you get positive feedback and negative. You will learn what they like and dislike. Now, these kind of polls, together with the objection poll, will help you to counter objections, but it will also help you to reorder the images in your listing, because if, let's say, image number 5 is scoring very high, everybody likes that. Well, why is it not the second image? And if you take the same insight next to it from the objection poll, and you see like, there you have it, you learn how to prioritize the USPs, the features, the benefits, and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense to think, like you said, if someone likes something, you'll put that in the front, you might get better conversions. I'm sure, like and you mentioned earlier about the dishwasher safe, getting those different, as Amazon has a million different badges you can put on there and things that you can just make a little graphic for. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And I love that you get negative and positive feedback. I feel like that is very important today, not just to get positive feedback. I say the same thing sort of with the Amazon Vine program of, we would always say, if you use Amazon Vine and the Vine reviewers are giving you 2-star, 1-star reviews, there's something wrong with your product. You got to really, you got to really look inward there. So it's great to get both sides of the coin.
And by the way, by mentioning that, so we are helping Amazon sellers in all phases. So also in the
Right.
phase of product development, because if you're
Yep.
discovering via Vine that people do not like your product, I think you're far too late. Because
Yeah,
you're just
it's true.
like what kind of idiot are you if you're just like that far to learn that your product sucks? That's
Probably
absolutely
stinks.
crazy. You
Yeah.
have to know this
Yeah.
but upfront. And you can do that by market research.
And
So
you guys
and
can do that pre-Amazon launch as well.
of
You can have
course,
people. Oh, wow.
but
Okay, cool.
we are kind of pre-Amazon launch. The thing is, we are doing pre-sale testing in a simulated
Right,
environment, so you can
right.
hack or optimize your current listing in a safe environment. You can test and go crazy. And by the way, it's much better than doing experiments. So I'm not saying you should not do experiments. You have to do experiments. But before doing experiments, if you do it in IntelliV and you learn what is really uh, making the tipping point why people like one option over the other, and then you take it to experiments, you have learned something. Normally, if you use experiments and one of the two is winning, you don't know why. Now that's a big problem. I don't like that. I don't want to have I need insights. It makes sense.
I'm with you. I'm very much about the data as well myself.
Exactly.
I have
Who's
I
not?
f
Who's
exactly,
not?
yeah, well, I will say before I started a career in Amazon, I was very, I was into marketing, right? But I was still very, I had a professor that was very on the side of emotional marketing more so than the data. So a little bit, honestly, a little bit about what you're saying on, you don't wanna take this super, only, robot thinking approach. You wanna put yourself in the shoes of the consumer, and he was very into that. So before Amazon, I was a little bit, 100%. We want to use all the emotions. You don't really want to focus on the numbers too much, but they're obviously very important. So now that I've in Amazon and I see the data and I see the results and I can measure things a little bit more, I have become more data focused. But it's very, very
That's
interesting
kind of
to
funny that
see. Yeah.
in a way we are how we say making a transfer from emotions to data. So we
Right.
are quantifying emotions. That's what we do. We
Yeah.
are telling you like people like this element or people are happy about this or they hate that. And I want to say something else, by the way, because before the show is over, it's so important to think about the future and also share a little bit of vision. Um, so I said that we started in 2016. It was quite easy
Right.
selling on Amazon. But if you look at today, it's not easy anymore. And the one who are listening right now probably already know what I'm talking about. But just to name a few issues, launching is not easy. The stock fees are crazy high. If stock is not moving, it can go up to 6,000% in a year. So that's absolutely nuts. PPC costs are going through the roof. So there's a lot of challenges in there. But then there's also something like Cosmo and Rufus, the shopping assistant developed by Amazon. Now, if you think about that, the shopping assistant, in a way, this whole show that we are talking about right now, I'm kind of like the Rufus today. I'm speaking as a Rufus. I'm speaking about consumer insights. I'm speaking about custom made, tailor made. That's the word you used. You said to me like, so
Right.
it's kind of like tailor made. Well, it is tailor made, and that's exactly what Rufus does. So what if, as a seller, you're already thinking about being a shopping assistant for your own product? Try to think about how to sell the product, how to approach it from different angles, not just adding colors, but think about for this situation, it might be a solution and present it like that. But for this type of customer, I probably have to present it like that. Then you have to think about volume, you have to think about the potential. But that's normal because if you think about sales, you have to think about potential. You have to think about
Right.
margins. You need to know your lead time. You need to know like much money I'm going to invest. When is the turnover of this first stock? I have to get a new container in. Exactly. Everything is in there. Everything. So it's already part of your business. Now, what if you think about the consumer and think as Rufus and think about the future? Yeah, I think it makes so much sense that we are here and having this tool. I think it's just a moment of waiting that we have competitors for our tool.
You're right. I never, and again, and to think about it like that, we talked earlier about putting yourself in the consumer's shoes and um, almost walking their path of looking at your product and saying, what would stop you from buying this product right now? What is holding you back from purchasing this product? And so to be sort of a shopping assistant for yourself, I think is a very invaluable tool that you guys provide. So very interesting way of thinking about it.
That's it. And you can, and with the data and with all the insights, you can feed your listing and you are just addressing the wants, needs, and desires of your daily buying consumers. And that's all you want.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what you want. What is grabbing the click? What is stopping the scroll? What is getting the conversion, etc.
You want those numbers. That's very interesting. No, it's very, very, very cool way to think about it. And we talked earlier a little bit about, very briefly, about Amazon Vine. And I want to segue this into a question I have again about the service. Is Amazon Vine reviewers are custom picked or they select products within their own niche, right? So you're not getting someone that doesn't know anything about the product reviewing it. I saw on IntelliV's website, you guys have over 55 million consumers that you use your polls for. Do you have a sort of method like that you allow these specific people to answer questions, or are you just sending these polls out um, to everybody and having them all answer for you, or how is that process done? How do you pick people to give answers for polls on maybe products that are in a certain niche that some people wouldn't know a whole lot about?
Yeah, very good question. So one of our most important values or USPs is that we are just asking random people. I'm saying it again. We're just asking random people. So indeed, it's 55 million. This is spread out, by the way. So it is like the United States, it's Canada, Mexico, United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, Japan. So it's all in there. But random people, I'm repeating it again, random people.
It's important. Everybody take notes.
No, really
Everybody
take
listen.
notes, because you have some platforms that are tapping into a member base. Those
Mhm.
people are getting paid. And we just figured out, like, if you're tapping into those type of member bases, or you're asking, it's like, I don't know, it's like you get monkey votes, a bit like they are a little bit mental fatigue. But if you just ask random people, it's kind of the same thing of just having a shopping moment with a consumer that is just in there for today and wasn't shopping yesterday, but just now. So they're just responding to what they see. And where we get them from is that you have so many deal sites worldwide, like so many, and those deal sites are so consumers like you and me, we are part of that, maybe without even knowing that, but probably you do. And then you're just looking for deals, like getting 80% discount or getting a product free to test, whatever. But in exchange, you just have to do a survey sometimes. Sometimes you get paid for that. Sometimes you get gigs or you get some extra points. And then by building up those points, boom, there you have it. There's a new deal for you. That's how it works. But we are not, and I think it's really important to think about it. If you are using people who are replying on daily basis, it's almost like the same thing as my children in the back of my car on the back seat, and then doing that game. Look at the differences in image A and image B. And they're so good at it. So they see everything. They see all the details. Now, if you're getting that, you get a wonderful feedback on your image test. Like, oh, that's great. But before you know it, you're in a design contest, because all you're doing is like you're proving that you did a good job. I rather have a random person showing an image for a split second, or let's say 8 seconds, and then they are completely destroying it. Like, what the heck did you do? It's ugly, or I don't like it. I would never buy it, or whatever. So then I have a moment that I can test the shit out of my listing. That's way different than having a nice day and get feedback that everybody loves to hear. That's not what you're looking for.
You want the truth. You want the truth.
Well,
So that's interesting.
if your click-through rate is let's say your CDR, let's say that your CDR is 10%, that means that 90% is skipping it. I want to know what
Right.
those 90% think.
Yeah.
That's what I
Why
want
are
to
you
know.
skipping? Yeah.
That's
No, it's a
important.
great
Yeah,
it's a great point.
yeah,
No,
that's
yeah, and I didn't think
important.
about that either with these maybe other traditional market research polls that will do that. Will pay people to review it, and of course they're not going to leave a bad review because they want to get paid. They want to, um, uh, I guess that's it. They want to get paid. They want to make that. They want to make sure they're, then making the money that they
They
are
are
being
really
paid to do.
looking carefully at what you're
Yeah.
asking. So they come with, oh, I like this one because I think it's very interesting that I see that small badge in the left, and I really prefer that small badge in the left. Great.
Right.
But in our
Right.
platform, nobody's noticing that badge. I even saw
Yeah.
sellers that are using IntelliV, and they complain because they say like, yeah, but they don't see the badge. No, that's exactly the point.
Yeah. You're
That's
not supposed to
that's
see it.
so there you have a problem. You have to go back to your designer and then brief them. By the way, did you also discover from the other options that people did like, if the badge even matters to them? Because if not, you're highlighting a benefit that nobody cares about. So no, it's interesting.
Very, very. I never thought about it like that because I read a little bit about your website beforehand, obviously, of course, and I'm looking at some of the different things. And you just said one of the first things right when you get in there is market research is not. I just had it up too. Now I got to pull it up to make sure I don't say anything wrong. It's market research is just about intuition, or intuition isn't enough for Amazon,
That's what we say.
and market research. Market research for the digital shelf is great. Great line, by the way.
Thank you.
Whoever came up with that was great. But it's very interesting to think that again, these these random people are giving you the God's honest truth about your product to the point where it's not something that you have to worry about people giving you, what's that term? They're not blowing smoke, they're telling you the truth. This is the real honest truth about what your product is doing, what it's doing wrong, what it's doing right. So very interesting to think about how you guys do that.
And by the way, sometimes you get a bit of skewed results. So I spoke about a shopping scenario. We start all our surveys or all our polls start with a shopping scenario. So we place the respondents in that shopping scenario, and from that point, we also grab insights by asking them what would be important to you. Let's see. I wanna see if I can find an interesting one that is sometimes working a bit against you if you are just putting in the wrong data or the wrong situation in the platform. So if you have a moment, Ben, bear with me.
Yeah,
So
please.
wait,
Yeah, yeah.
I have to find it. So there you go. It's so funny. I think it was about an extension cord, and then
Mhm.
the extension cord. The situation is like, imagine yourself in the backyard, that you wanna look at a movie in the backyard, something like that. So it's
Mhm.
so over the top. Where is it?
And while Peter Paul is looking for this, if you're enjoying our conversation, make sure to like and subscribe to get updates from future episodes, where I'll talk to just as amazing people as Peter Paul. So
Thank you.
back to the episode.
Yeah, so here it is. I have it. Imagine, so this is absolutely, so we say to all our sellers and users, it's a DIY platform, and you can generate a situation with AI. So you just
Right.
type in the product. So let's say security camera, and then AI will give you 3 options to choose from. Then there you have your shopping scenario to start with. Now this, I don't know what happened, but here someone got a situation. It sounds like this. So there we go. I'm Dutch, by the way, so I hope I pronounce everything correctly. It is, imagine yourself setting up a backyard movie night. You need to power the projector and sound system, but the outlets are far away. It's time to buy an indoor and outdoor extension cord. Now that's the product. So in the second step, they will see extension cords, and we're going to ask in this poll, which extension cord would you buy and why? But the situation, imagine yourself setting up a backyard movie night. Now we provide. Yeah. You see me laughing now, so you see the joy in my eye, right? So, but because I find this so funny, we ask in this situation to the respondents. In this case, it was like a group of 100 people. When you read the situation, what should you think is most important to give attention to? Now, sorry. There we go. Screen, extension cord, and type of movie. I don't have the means to project a movie. Do it fast. Do it fast because I want to see the movie. I love to be outside, and I can imagine sitting out under the stars watching a movie. I've never been in this situation before of having a backyard movie theater. The movie night might have to be put off until I solve the problem. So
Some
what
very
you
interesting answers.
so what you get is, if you write down something in the shopping scenario, you might get some weird response, but people are
Right.
also enjoying themselves, and it's funny, you know.
Right. I also would have to agree with the person that said, I don't think I've ever found myself in the midst of in that scenario before. I'm not really a big out. I
No,
would love to watch a movie outdoors, but I don't think I have any of
no,
the
but
means of
that's what I said.
to
It's
use to do
over
it.
the top. It's over the
Yeah.
top. It's like if I go back to the
Right.
stainless steel water bottle, and I would say to you, like, "Hey, Pete, imagine yourself going to Euro Disney, and you're sitting in the whatever. I don't know. So you
Yeah.
make it so complicated.
So specific. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not needed.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I can see how that would be a little bit more out there again. So, but then, okay, so this is a perfect scenario. So in that scenario, how would you help this brand refine those results to be more productive and more, um, and just give them more of an insight on how they should be positioning their product or changing that title entirely?
Yeah. So first off, if you go to this specific poll, they just have to change the situation and make it simple. It has to be something like, hey, you're just looking for an extension cord, or you want to replace
Yeah.
your extension cord because your other, I don't know, your old one just broke down. And if you can make a detail, like your lawnmower went over it, I don't know, but nevertheless, make it simple. And then you are showing three products side by side. And things like 100 feet are highlighted, or what is it like? I see here, lighted outlet is important to some users. We also learned that, for instance, white text on dark background is important. You get insights about details and benefits that are important, but it's the whole story. I spoke about the consumer journey. It's not just the main image, it's the main image, it's the title, the listing images. From there, you can also optimize your bullets. You can go to the A plus content because you understand the order. You understand, like, what should I address first, prioritize, tailor-made. We mentioned that before.
Yeah, no, that's a great again, it's a great resource to have these insights of these people that are potential customers. And maybe the scenario, the person who created the scenario is very wanted to be very specific. I don't know if they probably took it personal. They probably had a personal experience like that of they needed an extension cord and they didn't have it at the exact moment. Um, but it's very interesting, and you like you said, it does get into I'm sure there were some people that responded to that poll, or maybe there were if you asked another 100 or 200 people, I'm sure some people would say, "Oh my god, I've been in that exact situation before." Um,
Yeah, no, well, but it is part of the poll. So the situation insights were not that valuable, so we had some fun about it. And again, I know this one because we reached out to this customer like, hey, listen, this is not really what the purpose is of the platform. So you know what, I want to help you here, and let's do another one. And we do that, but this is also the passion we have with what we built. We are really passionate about what we did, and I'm passionate about consumer insights. I also have it in my WhatsApp, like a decision, making a decision is a decision on itself. I just love the process of decisions. Like, how do people do that? And it's so interesting to see. And that's it.
Love it. No, I love it, and this is a very like I said, I love learning more about the channel, and I think I definitely have learned a lot today, so I wanna thank you for that already. I have one sort of 2 final questions for you, and the first one is a question I love to ask all of my guests. What is next for IntelliV? What are you guys working on coming up in 2025? At the time of this recording, we're 14 days out from Christmas. What are you guys working on for 2025 that you can maybe share with us to get excited about, or what's next in IntelliV's life?
Okay, one of the highlights that we are working on right now is it is also launched, by the way, but we want to expand it more. So that is the impact poll. It is all around consumer attention. So it's one poll focusing on stop the scroll, and the other one is secure the sale. So it's the moment where you are. The difference between the two is that the first one is stop the scroll. That then the attention level is a bit lower, and the second one, secure the sale, you're already in the mode of buying stuff. So you know more, but now it's the moment if it really gets the attention and if the image is communicating what you want. Now, that's number one. Another one is that with our focus groups, if you get feedback, so for instance, for this poll type, it would be a lot of fun, by the way, that I just shared with the movie. Then you can also communicate. So you can ask additional questions to the respondent for more clarification. That's something we're thinking about to expand with that. There might be a moment, maybe, that at a certain moment, that's something that we have a vision for, that people can also get the product. So if you have a focus group and you can just say like, hey, you know what? At the end, you can get it. So what about that? So then you have the product in your hands and then give the feedback again. And does it still align with what you said in the pre-sale testing environment? Finally, testing A plus content, but that's challenging. And the reason is that most of the shoppers, most of consumers are buying on mobile. We are tapping into a member base, and it's quite hard to simulate and to really manage the difference between A plus content on mobile and desktop. And that's our challenge, but we are working on A+ content testing also.
Love it.
That's about it.
Yeah. That's great. No, I love it. I love, again, I love asking that question because I love to learn. I love to get ideas for maybe our next episode of when I can ask you about that and say, hey, how's everything going with this and X, Y, and Z. So no, very cool, very cool. Well, I want to thank you, Peter Paul, for coming on today and talking to me about IntelliV and the marketing funnel, and a different approach to it than I have ever heard before. So I want to thank you for teaching me a lot today too. I love a good episode where the goal really here, my personal goal, is to learn something. So I feel like I've definitely done that today.
Yeah, and I
Great.
liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I want to finish off by giving you a chance to say any final thoughts for viewers out there, or for our couple of our any final thoughts for our brands out there that watch this, that are thinking about it, or maybe on the fence about doing a service like yours. What is some last minute final thought wisdom that you can give to them on the importance of doing this type of research and collecting this data?
Now, I think as sellers, e-commerce sellers or brand owners, whatever, you have a responsibility. So, as an employer, because you have people in your company, probably, you're making money. So you have the responsibility that people are spending money on your products, and you also have to invest wisely. Because of the responsibility, I also believe that you have to invest in what your consumers want, to give them a very, very good buying moment and make sure that everything is correct. And maybe it's a bit high level to think about that. Maybe it's a bit too much like, oh, I'm so good. But I really believe that at the end of the day, it will give you a solid future. Maybe not the biggest one, but it's a good one and it's healthy. You know, I'm Christian. I just want to say that. And to me, one of the things that matter in my religion is treat the others how I would like to treat myself. Now, I think in the online space we have so many consumers. We are serving them all day long. Think about that. Like, are you doing the right thing? And you can do it if you just listen to your consumers. So that's my advice.
Mm, sweet. No, I love it. That's
Sweet,
great. Great.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah, no other way
it's
to put
very
it.
sweet.
Yeah. Well, Peter Paul, again, thank you so much for coming on today to talk to me and go over a lot of different topics. I'm excited for this episode to come out. And again, for all of you out there, I know I already gave this pitch, but if you like this episode and if you like the information you learned today, make sure to like and subscribe to get up to date with all of our podcast guests that are going to give just as valuable information as Peter Paul has given today. And everybody, thanks for watching. I'm Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.